now I got my power steering pump all yanked out. She's on top of the engine, and now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tensioner. There's an idler pulley which is on top, and the tensioner is actually attached with a size 14 bolt on the bottom, and I'm see if I could get as much light as I can on it. And it is right there, and I already broke it free, so I should be able to go ahead and turn it with my finger, and that will take the whole serpentine belt tensioner assembly off, and it's gonna give me even more room to get to those covers which I gotta remove. Okay, we got the main bolt off, which is right there. You could see it. It's all loose, and I'm gonna pull it out. And there's one more bolt on the bottom, which I'll take you right underneath the car and show you. It's the easiest way to access that bolt from here, and it's also size 14 right over there. It's underneath the tensioner. You're looking right at it. So we're gonna get that off, and the tensioner will come right off. Okay, we did get the bolt out. Now this should just come right out right here. Serpentine belt tensioner. So as you can see, it has bolt there and the center bolt there. So two bolts hold it in place. That wasn't bad at all, but when the vehicle has 160,000 miles, you kind of want to watch for them bolts not to break anything. So as you could see, I cleared myself a good area that I could start taking all these bolts off from a timing belt cover. I'll get that off, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like on inside, and we'll set the engine to the top dead center on intake mode, and we'll pull the crank pulley off, and that's going to be a challenge. If you don't have a good size impact, you're probably going to struggle with getting the crank pulley off, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I've done hundreds of these vehicles, done lots of these timing belts, water pump jobs, so every single one of them usually give me an issue. Honda Odyssey is pretty much same setup, even though it's 3.5 and this is a 3.2, but the whole thing is, all the engines are pretty much the same. So Honda Pilots, any 3.5 liter or 3.2 or 3.7 Acura or Honda engine is pretty much the same. So if you can get this done, you can definitely do another engine in different model, because they're pretty much identical. Okay, we got all the bolts. There was 4 bolts in the top cover, and there's this timing cover is made out of 3 pieces. There's 2 on top and 1 larger on the bottom. So on the top cover, there's 4 bolts. They go all the way around and 1 in the center. So we're ready to pull the cover off and take a look what the timing belt looks like. Yeah, it's been there for a while. I had to correct myself. There's actually 5 bolts, not 4. So once we get those, the cover will pop right off. And this is the cover gasket. Got to make sure we put it back in. And that's the belt. So we got to do the same thing on the other side, and then on the bottom, and then I'll show you how to set up the engine to the top dead center on intake mode, because that's very important. Before we take off the belt, we set it up in a correct position, otherwise we could have trouble.